Alright, so in this video we're going to talk about using watercolor paints and Mrs. Turwey's art room rules for using the paints. At each table there is going to be a tray with two actual paint containers. They'll be sitting like this, and I do want you to keep them open so that they can dry between classes and overnight and everything else. The other thing that will be in this paint tray will be 4 water dishes, and most of them will look like this. So there'll be 4 of these. And then there's also going to be 4 paint brushes. Now I realize not all your tables are going to have 4 people, but we're just going to stick with it at 4. So at the end of class, when I walk around, I can check to see that you have the 4 brushes, the 4 trays or water containers, and the 2 water or paint trays. Okay. So when you are using the brushes, you want to make sure to take care of brushes. First of all, most of the time watercolor brushes are going to have a point at the tip. And so at the end of class, as you're washing your brush, you want to make sure that you kind of form it back into that tip shape. The other thing is generally you don't want to see any paint over in the silver area right here. We want to keep all the paint in the tip of the brush, with watercolor especially. When we are actually using the brushes, you want to make sure that you are not pulling or twisting the bristles, because while these aren't the greatest paint brushes, they're not overly expensive, they're still pretty decent ones, and even cheap ones and expensive ones, the bristles will pull out if you pull on them, and that's not what we want. So just take care of your bristles. These brushes are brand new, so I just took off the plastic thing that protected the bristles. And the bristles themselves are kind of stiff. They put some sort of a treatment on them to keep them that way. But all you have to do is put them in water, and that will soften the bristles, which is what we want to do. So now that the bristles are pliable, it's ready to go. All right. At the end of class, what you can do is you can take a paper towel and just dab the bristles in it, or you can just gently pinch the bristles. Again, we're not twisting and we're not pulling. And then just make sure they're clean. Well, the way that I check brushes to make sure that they're clean is I will run them on the edge of my hand to see that they're clean. For example, I'll just do this. And if there's any paint that comes off, obviously it's not clean. If it's clear, then we're good to go. So that's what I will be doing to check to make sure they're clean. Is I'll ask you to swipe it on the back of your hand, and I'll be looking to make sure you have the right amount of everything.